Good morning, guys. I feel really good, although I was DJing yesterday. And just by editing yesterday's vlog, I realized how many drinks I actually had.
1 minute. Well, is it good, schmeckt dir? Cheers. Look at that glass.
Way too many. And last Friday I was also DJing. It was a whole lot of fun, but I also had a couple of drinks. I just need another one. And I really absolutely don't know why and how, but not even the slightest bit of a hangover. I actually feel great. Better than on some other days. The coffee is even just for the taste. I'm not even tired. I don't know. Maybe it was the döner. Who knows? I think I still should reduce the drinking, but I don't know why. I can't resist whenever I get free drinks. Whenever I DJ, I have free drinks. So that's definitely one of the biggest problems as a DJ. If you play quite a lot every Friday, Saturday, yeah, be careful. There are also a whole lot of other situations, dangerous situations, or just situations where you're embarrassed as a DJ. So let's maybe talk about them today, and let me try and give you some tips and tricks how to solve them. First up, of course, as always, business stuff and heading to the studio. So definitely one of the biggest challenges and problems you will face as a DJ is the drinking. Just try to keep it not to a minimum. You can still have fun and get wasted every once in a while, but try to avoid drinking at every single gig, especially if you DJ every weekend or maybe even every Friday and Saturday, or maybe even during the week. I will try it the next time I'm DJing, just less or maybe even nothing at all. I don't know if this will work, but I will try. I don't even want to start talking about other substances. Yes, a lot of people take certain things in clubs. I see it almost every time I'm DJing somewhere. I personally don't really mind. Everyone should know what he's doing to himself, and I think as long as you have it under control, and depending on what you take and how much you take of it, it might be kind of okay for just the fun of it and trying it out. But just try not to get yourself killed, and the second it gets a habit, you should definitely seek out and get help. Not saying at all that drugs are good, but most people will try it out eventually just out of curiosity. Just be careful, really careful. I know a lot of my very talented musician friends that are just lost, especially in Berlin. They go to Berlin and you never see them again. Next up, something a lot of DJs, a lot of musicians, actually everyone faces when he has to be on a stage in front of a lot of people. That's stage frightening. I have it every single time I DJ, even yesterday in this weird bar. It was just like a tiny bit. I had to pee, my fingers, like, I don't know. It's a weird feeling. The second I start DJing, it's gone entirely every time, no matter how big the gig is. And of course, the bigger the club is, the further away the event is, the less I know the club, the more I have it. But it's usually under control, and it never stopped me from DJing. I never let it get to me. It's something I can't control, so I don't even try to. I just do my thing and go on stage, play the first record. And I always know that by the time I play the first record, it's all gone, and then it's just pure fun. If you're afraid and you have problems with it, just practice a lot at home. I think practicing will make you less frightened of being on stage. You will feel more secure. Try to maybe have a buddy with you that is also DJ, where you know that he could help you just in case something goes wrong. try to show up early. Don't rush there and be there last minute. This will make everything just worse. Or you just arrive a minute before the gig and you're so busy you can't even worry about being frightened playing in front of people. Really depends on the type of person you are. Planning your set in advance is very helpful. I don't mean by that like preparing it track by track. This might just ruin the vibe of the evening. You couldn't react to the people and how many people are actually dancing. But having like lists, I always have one for like the houseier music for the beginning with chill tracks, then maybe one more uplifting tracks, and then for the end again tracks that are a little bit slower and maybe moodier and fit more to a sunrise vibe. This way you kind of have a fail-safe. Whenever you don't know what to play, you just go back to one of these lists and pick a track. The thing I personally hate the most by far is playing in an empty club. It happens from time to time, you can't control it. I played at the Perukaville Festival, which is kind of the Tomorrowland festival of Germany, with I think like 60,000 people attending it. And I was in the unlucky position to play on the smallest stage, which wasn't really the big problem. The problem was more that exactly when I started to DJ, the main festival opened. My stage was already opened before the main stage actually opened. So exactly in that moment, all of the people left and went to the main stage to get the good spots. And I was playing in front of no one. But there's nothing you can do. You just play your set, you can play your own tracks, you can test out tracks. That's one of the advantages. At the end, you still get paid. This event was sponsored by Smirnoff. They didn't really care about it. Sometimes if I play in smaller clubs and the evening is really empty, I offer the club owner or the promoter that he only pays me half, but that he books me another time. This way he has kind of another chance and he doesn't have to pay me in full. I think that's like the best way to deal with a situation where the club is just empty. And if you're starting out to DJ, playing in an empty club might be actually good. This way you can just learn, get used to it. I think the only thing that is worse than an empty club is a club that is like a little bit full. Like if you have just 20-30 people and if you play one bad track, everyone stops dancing and is going away. That's by far the toughest. You can ask any DJ, no matter how big they are. If you play on the main stage of a big festival, it's easier to DJ than just with 20, 30, 40 people, where you really have to take care that the vibe stays up. So if you start out, I wish you either an empty club or a full club. But this thing in between, horrible. Another thing that will definitely occur when you're DJing is that someone will come to you and request a song. There are a couple of ways to deal with it. I usually tell them that I will try to find a track. I don't even search for it, to be honest. I just hope that they will leave and never come back, or come back when I'm done playing. I don't take any requests. No. This will definitely happen more if you play in a club that plays hip-hop and house music and is playing like very chart-heavy music. People will request a lot of songs. If you play in an underground techno club in Berlin, you can most definitely expect no one to have ever a request. I mean, at the end, it's really up to you how to deal with it. Just try not to be distracted by it. And if the people are just too wasted to even talk to you, just focus on your set. They will eventually leave. Technical problems are one of the biggest fears of DJs, probably. It can just randomly happen. There is not much you can do to avoid it. Maybe check the cables before you play, maybe check the equipment, maybe make sure to have in your technical writer that someone checks it, or maybe even go to the club before you play and do a sound check. That's definitely something you should do if you play bigger gigs, or you will even be requested to do a sound check. If you play on a main stage in front of 10,000 people, you will have to do a sound check, even if you're just DJing. There's actually just one more thing I can come up with that is even worse than the rest. But let me first get back to making music. I already wasted way too much time today on dealing with the business stuff. Done, pretty successful mixing session. It's already Friday evening Now let's get to the one thing that is really the most annoying and the most embarrassing actually, and which I hate the most whenever I DJ when it happens. Luckily it doesn't happen that often, but that's actually when I mess up. When I mess up a transition, when I hit the wrong button and the music stops entirely. It just sometimes happens, especially during the time where I was DJing quite a lot, and especially during the time where I was playing with vinyl. Because I mean, these things, they spin, and they don't spin always at the same rate on the record player. They can wobble. If they're not flat enough, the needle might skip. So with these things, it just happened at least once a night that something went wrong. Maybe not entirely so that everyone noticed it, but for example with the CDJs, with the older generation, like the Mark, what was it, 3? CDJ 1000 Mark 3, when they failed, there was absolutely no music, and they needed like 2 minutes to restart, so that was always like the worst. The newer CDJs have like this fail-safe loop. Whenever you drag out the USB stick, the music doesn't stop, it is just looping. I think the past 4 or maybe even 8 bars. I don't know why they can't do it longer. There are not a whole lot of ways how to react to it. You could just try to blame it on someone else, act really busy trying to fix it. But I think like the best way is just to look into the crowd, just say sorry so that everybody hears it, and tell them sorry that the music stopped, I messed up, sorry. But it's actually a good opportunity to tell you how much fun this night actually is. You might get a little bit of a reaction, a nice reaction. People can understand that this just sometimes happens. Maybe they will even appreciate that you're really mixing and not just playing a CD that is pre-mixed. And this way, it's not that embarrassing. You get a couple of seconds from the people reacting. You have a little bit more time to fix the music situation and just let it play again. And this way the people won't be angry. They might even not remember that it happened at the end of the night. If you just hide or act really weird, people will remember it even more. Like a couple of videos ago, someone asked me what to do if the crowd reacts really in a bad way. And I think this doesn't really happen a whole lot, because usually you can prevent it by just DJing at places that want your music. If you're a house DJ and you play at a hip-hop club, yes, you might get bad reactions. So avoiding these moments is the easiest in advance by just selecting the places where you play. If you're a big superstar DJ and people don't like what you do, it's usually because you messed up or because something went wrong. People don't do that without any reason. And if you're a big superstar, you will probably not really worry about it that much. You're used to it, you get a shitload of money. That makes it a whole lot easier, and when you get to that point, you might have a different ego than now. I need to hurry up. Vanessa just called, she's waiting downstairs. Hello. Cake for me?
For my mom?
Okay. But I will get a piece.
Of course, but it's strawberry cake?
I don't care. And one day we had to stop the music. I think it was because a girl was fainting on the dance floor. But some of those really retarded, stupid people were starting to throw glass bottles towards the DJ booth. So since then I always hide it in that club whenever the music stopped.